Happy Friday, Caleb. This time, properly on a Friday morning, probably. But who knows? Take another sip of that. So anyway, it's been a quiet week, I suppose. What did I watch this week? Watched Superman. The new one. The new Superman with directed by James Gunn. Damn it. And it was fine. Give it a 2.5 stars on Letterboxd. It was yeah, the thing with James Gunn is more interesting than the film itself probably was the tension, I think, between trying to make an uplifting superhero film, because, Superman's like the most clean-cut, uplifting, or ought to be the most, squeaky clean superhero imaginable. Hopefully that airplane doesn't come up in the audio. But yeah, so Superman, I thought the actor that played Superman was pretty good, and most of the time it was fine. But I think there's that tension still between James Gunn, who at heart is a cynical asshole, who's got this kind of weird, mean, and nihilistic streak, and trying to make an uplifting movie. Like, I know a lot of people say, "What about Guardians of the Galaxy? Those are happy, good, good humored films." And sure, while he was at Marvel, I'm sure they had him on a short leash, but that's why he got shit canned from Marvel, because he says dumb shit and he's not a very bright guy. So now that he's over at DC, and couldn't make it worse, right? DC's been absolute garbage. So he's making his Suicide Squad movies over there, which I thought were just complete shit, really. And then Superman. It's fine. It's fine. That's all. And then last Sunday was the 98th annual Academy Awards. And usually I don't care much about the Academy Awards, but a little film called Sinners was up for a bunch of awards, none of which really interested me much except for cinematography. Now, we've talked about Sinners before, and I didn't really think it was that great a movie. It's fine. And I didn't at all like the cinematography. I thought it looked, frankly, bad. I'm watching it with my wife the first time on Blu-ray, and I turned to her and said, "This looks like it was just badly underexposed," and then they kind of tried to salvage it in the grade. And then later on, I find an interview with the cinematographer who says, "Oh yeah, we shot on film, and I underexposed it 2 stops." I was like, what? Okay. I mean, it's a choice, not a choice that I think is a good thing to do, because even watching it on this 4K disc, 4K HDR, I think it's even Dolby Vision. Yeah, Dolby Vision. It's on the TV behind me. Got the sound down because I can't have that in the audio of our YouTube video here. And I gave it another watch. Gave it another watch on 4K, and I don't know if it's just Warner Brothers or if it is the actual cinematographer's intent, but it looks like shit on 4K. On Blu-ray, it looked like the shadows were just crushed real hard, and then the black levels were lifted a little bit to try to offset that a little bit, Whereas on 4K, the black levels are nice and black on my OLED LG TV set, but like half of the register, half the tonal register is just dumped right down into the black levels, and I don't love it. It just looks It's my eye bad. And then on top of that, you got all the highlights are kind of like pulled down, and I hate that look too. I don't know why they do that. Expose for the highlights and then, grade for the shadows. Like they used to say, expose for the highlights and develop for the shadows when they're shooting on film. My hunch is that the cinematographer, I don't know much about her, but she's young. She seems pretty young. So maybe she's just never really had much experience with film, but I could be wrong. She could have been an expert on film for all I know and just thought this was a really cool look. And you know what? I think that is pretty awesome that she won the cinematography Academy Award because this is the 98th Academy Awards ceremony, which means more than 98 dudes, because they used to give out an Academy Award not just for cinematography in color, but for cinematography in black and white, because those truly are two different art forms. And the people making modern day, oh, there's a color version and a black and white version. Looking at you, Nick Cage, with that new Spider-Man shit. It's a separate art. So for a good while there, I was going to look it up, and then, I didn't get around to it. But for a good while there was a black and white Academy Award for cinematography and a color cinematography Academy Award. So that means that over 100 dudes have won Academy Awards for oftentimes mediocre work. Seems about time that the ladies ought to get in on some of that. I mean, just because I think this is mediocre cinematography doesn't mean that it's not a huge milestone and a huge achievement, because this gal's the first woman to ever win an Academy Award for cinematography. And regardless of what I think of how it looked, that's got to be a big deal for young girls out there that are picking up a camera and saying, you know what, I'm going to make my goddamn movie look however I fucking want it to look. And you should. I hope you do. I think it's great. I think it's about goddamn time. So here's to you, lady who I fucking should have looked the name up for earlier. Oh, damn it. Autumn Gerald Arkapaw. Oof. Probably mispronounced that, but I hope that she has a long and illustrious career after this, because she's the first lady to ever get an Academy Award for cinematography after 100 years. 100 years. It's insane. So that's awesome. Sincerely. And now we've also got, for this week, not just some lame opinions by random middle-aged white guys on YouTube, because Lord knows we don't have enough of that. We've also got unboxing. I'll show the side without my address on it so I don't have to blur it out later because I'm lazy. And this is from Diabolic DVD. I was reading that book I was telling you about called yikes. Escapes me now too, and I can't look it up on my phone because I'm using the Leica control app to control the SL2S, and if I switch out of the app, it cuts the recording, so whatever. Super prepared today, as always. Anyways, this book is about suspense and slow cinema, and they talk a lot about my guy, Jean Epstein, who directed one of my all-time favorite films, The Fall of the House of Usher, the 1928 version. And recently, they put out a Blu-ray disc, sadly not 4K, but Blu-ray disc of John Epstein's film Finisterre. Jesus Christ. Yeah. This guy, huh? Anyways, a special Blu-ray edition, limited edition O-card slipcase featuring new artwork by John Dunn, 1080 HD presentation from a 4K restoration. by Gaumont Film Company, optional English subtitles, blah, 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 blah. A lot of extra features. Anyway, this is John Epstein's movie about a lighthouse keeper, maybe? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know much about it, but there are so few films by John Epstein available on disc of any sort that I had to have it. And so, ordered it from DVD Diabolic and the Diabolic DVD, whatever. And if you order 3 regular priced items from them, they'll give you free shipping. So why not spend a bunch more money just to save, $6 in shipping? So that's what I did. Got Old Dark House on 4K. Ooh, look at that. Oh boy. A little bit of old James Whale action going on. Sorry, that's probably covering my mouth. This is in Dolby Vision. And boy, oh boy. You know how I was saying earlier that black and white and color are 2 different art forms? Black and white in Dolby Vision looks fantastic. And then, oh no, it's another non-English word that I'm going to screw up. The Night by Michelangelo Antonioni in Dolby Vision. 4K Ultra HD Dolby Vision. Michelangelo Antonioni. Awesome. I've not seen this one. I've only seen La Ventura and Blow Up, which I love them. They're great. But getting into kind of that slow cinema mood, Antonioni, I think, definitely counts for slow cinema. So that is my week. Got some new discs because Lord knows I needed more of those. And talking about some movies I watched. That's it. That's it, really. We're back to recording on the Leica because my last couple weeks of recording on the iPhone have been super hit and miss. So hopefully this looks okay in Rec 709 because, again, it's sad. I'm seeing not only has YouTube seemingly abandoned HDR altogether, but it seems like they're just like abandoning 4K as well because tons of people are just like, oh, just upload 1080p. And I know you're uploading 1080p, but we talked about that. I think that's fine. But it just annoys me that we're going backwards in more ways than one. Anyways, that's all for today. Ranting and raving and drinking my beer. So that's out from Godzilla. I wonder if they licensed that from Toho. Oh boy. Anyways. Have a good weekend, and if any young ladies out there happen to stumble upon this video, you go get that Oscar. Have a good one.